In 2006, Crystal Magnum falsely accused 3 Duke lacrosse players for graping her while at a team party where she was hired as a stripper. Well, she just admitted that she made the whole thing up. But yes, she lied.
And I testified falsely against them by saying that they when they didn't. And that was wrong. And I betrayed the trust of a lot of other people who believed in me. And made up a story that wasn't true because I wanted validation from people and not from God. And that was wrong. And I hope that they can forgive me.
This woman right now is locked up. Now, not for perjury, not for falsely testifying under oath, no. She's locked up for deleting her ex-boyfriend. He's gone.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
And so obviously not only is she a liar, she needs to be held accountable. And I'll take this opportunity to point out that this woman needs to be held accountable as well. And any other women who plan on or continue to think they can get away with falsely accusing men because they don't face any consequences when they do it.
Do you all remember the Duke lacrosse case in 2006? This case is about the members of the Duke University lacrosse team who were falsely accused of by a Black woman who was hired as a stripper at a team party. Now, the case garnered national attention and sparked debates about race, class, and the criminal justice system before the charges were eventually dropped. Let's get into it. March 18th, 2006, members of the Duke University men's lacrosse team hosted a team party at the off-campus residence of 2 team captains in Durham, North Carolina. They hired 2 Black dancers from a local escort service to perform as strippers at the party. One of the dancers was a 27-year-old Black student at North Carolina Central University who later accused 3 members of the lacrosse team of her in the bathroom during the party. The next day, March 14th, the woman reported the alleged rape to the Durham Police Department, claiming she was sexually assaulted and beaten by 3 white members of the Duke lacrosse team. Her name was Crystal Magnum. The allegations quickly gained national attention, sparking outrage and protests from the local community and beyond. On March 16th, Durham District Attorney Mike Nafong held a press conference stating that he was confident a crime had been committed and that the charges would be filed against members of the team. Mike's decision to pursue the case was criticized by some as being motivated by his upcoming bid for re-election as district attorney. On April 10th, 2 lacrosse team captains, Reed Seligman and Colin Finnerty, were indicted on charges of kidnapping and sexual offense. A few days later, a 3rd team member, David Evans, was also indicted on the same charges. The accused players maintained their innocence, and their families and supporters claimed that they were being railroaded because of their privileged status as white, wealthy athletes at an elite university. As the investigation continued, inconsistency in the accuser's statement and a lack of DNA evidence emerged, casting doubt on the credibility of her claims. On December 22, 2006, the charges against the players were dropped after the accuser's statements were found to be inconsistent and contradicted by DNA evidence. On June 16, 2007, Mike was disbarred for violating numerous rules of professional conduct. On April 11, 2007, North Carolina Attorney General Roy Cooper announced that all charges against the 3 accused players would be dropped. Mike was later accused of misconduct for his handling of the case, including withholding evidence and making inflammatory statements about the accused players. 3 falsely accused players filed a federal lawsuit against Mike and the city of Durham, eventually reaching a settlement of $20 million in damages. Duke University also reached an undisclosed settlement with the 3 players to compensate them for the disruption to their education and legal expenses. Duke lacrosse case sparked widespread criticism of the criminal justice system and raised important questions about the role of race, class, and media in high-profile cases.
So it's very obvious that there definitely has to be an example made. And I really do mean this, to keep this from being something that's a constant. Every year we see this growing in popularity. And I'm talking about women who have no problem lying and falsely accusing men because they know that they won't face any consequences for doing that. This has happened countless times over and over again. And I believe, as you know, you see all these celebrities who are out here in the spotlight. Well, I have no doubt that when it comes to some celebrities, they were definitely guilty of the stuff they're being accused of. There's no way you can convince me that there aren't women out here who are being taken seriously, but are bold-faced lying to the public, to you, and you're falling for it. And this is exactly why the whole believe all women no matter what is not something that men are ever going to champion. And every time one of these chicks gets revealed, it really takes away from the victims who really need the help in these types of situations.
Lying. She got caught lying, but we haven't had her admission. But you pointed out something about her background.
Yeah, I think Chandler just mentioned it. She's serving prison. She's in prison for her boyfriend.
Yeah. Right. So she's not.
She is. And Chandler mentioned that she cannot be held liable in North Carolina because of the statute of limitations. It's only 2 years. Chandler also mentioned the DA. Remember Nifong? He was on the news all the time. And shortly after the players were charged, he said, there is no doubt about this being a assault that it took place. And he said it was racially motivated. And then when he was disbarred because he withheld DNA evidence that would have helped the players, but that never came out.
People have a right to come forward with their allegations, and I think we should litigate them in court. But there has to be a severe penalty when people go out there and just make up stuff, lie, and destroy people's lives.
I want to really touch on something right there is oftentimes, man, people will jump on the bandwagon and support a lot of these causes. And the women who are telling bold-faced lies, accusing innocent men, because the situation will always be wrapped in some sort of very sensitive social justice issue, whether it's an issue of women not being protected or it's an issue of race. As soon as it's gift wrapped, right, then they present it to you in this was a racially motivated situation. There's some people that as soon as they hear that, they're not asking any questions. They don't want to know anything else more. They're so emotionally triggered by that they support it right off the bat. I'll say this. Personally, I have learned that nothing that is within your control, right, unless if it's a passing of a loved one, or, life gets tragic. But when you read something, it shouldn't emotionally manipulate you so much that immediately right off the bat, you assume that it's 100% true when it comes to these type of issues that are so damaging to so many people's lives. You're scrolling, you see something and it's not really a big deal. Yeah, we all make assumptions about certain situations. Like, oh, that was funny. Yeah, okay, I'll give my take. But these type of situations, I think, grab so many people's attention because they know they can really manipulate the masses or specific demographics if they package it correctly, right? It's winning in the court of public opinion.
I think about the lady, what was she, 80-something? The lady that falsely accused Emmett Till of them. She was 80-something and she finally admitted that she was lying. And people were like, she shouldn't stand trial for that. Absolutely. I don't care what age you are. When you finally reach your...
Should have been locked up. She should have been locked up. 100%.
Conscience of wanting to tell the truth about a situation, you should be prosecuted. There should be severe penalty. These guys are never going to have their lives back. The damage has been done.
And reframe Emmett Till. He was killed by he was killed by...
He was lynched. He was 14 years old, was falsely accused by a woman. And later on in her life, I think she just died like a year ago. She was in her 80s. She finally came forward and said it was not true. So there's consequences. Now, I'm not saying this is the same in his way because no one was lynched, but their lives were destroyed as well. So there has to be consequences for that. If it's true, let it be litigated in court. I just hope this is a cautionary tale for the media. Don't just run with allegations.
You just reminded me, too. You know what did happen? The coach got fired.
Yes.
Immediately. And he ended up going to another school in Rhode Island, Bryant, and revitalizing that program. But he was considered one of the lead coaches. John Danowski, a fantastic coach, went down there with his son, and they restored the program. But essentially, he gets fired. They find out it's all a lie. Those kids, young, graduate. They can't get jobs. And now they don't want this on their resume. They're hoping their name's not picked up. But this is
This is good news for them.
That's why, I mean, not to make this about God, but the 10 Commandments, he tells us not to do these things to prevent us from hurting ourselves and hurting other people. Says not to lie, not to cheat. There are consequences for these actions.
And you know what she did? At the same time as she admitted that she made up the story, which destroyed their lives.
Right.
She is asking those 3 young men to forgive her.
She is asking for
Yeah, we can forgive, but not forget.
But the captain of the team is actually from my town. And I remember the whole family was like, we will never talk about it. But
Wow. Listen, of course, I'm curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.